The shadow play is the most ancient form of theatre in many countries of Southeast Asia. But in Indonesia, the arrival of Hindu aristocracy in the beginning of the Christian era laid the foundations of a great shadow puppet tradition. Play has also been performed by peninsular Malays for several hundred years. In Malaysia, it is identified as Wayang Kulit, but in Indonesia, it is referred to as Wayang Purba. The most significant link between the puppet tradition of both the countries is the great Hindu epic of Ramayana, which is the primary source of text for the plays. A timeless epic of India, an ancient land that has guarded the secret patterns of life, art, and culture over the ages. Every morning, the sunrise is an inclination for regulation, extending to every field of Indian life. They apply equally to religious ritual, the theatre, and the art forms. Theatre and dance are powerful mediums of representing art forms, where performing artists display a wide range of emotions with gracefully choreographed movements. But the ancient shadow puppet theatre is one of the most fascinating and spellbinding forms of theatre. These are the living shadows of an ancient world. India has an ancient shadow puppet tradition dating back to the 2nd century BC. Close to Goa and bordering Maharashtra is a sleepy village named Pinguli, notable for its rich cultural heritage of shadow theatre, known as Chamadiyacha Bhaulya. Tula Maske and his brother Lakshman are among the few living puppeteers in the village. Traditionally, Tula and his brother perform in the temples. Maharashtra, which probably provided the impetus for shadow theatre tradition in the country, is facing an imminent extinction of the art form. These are the last few puppets of a great tradition and heritage. A tradition which has enriched Indian-Indonesian cultural ties from the beginning of the Christian era. Ever since the first Indian from the west coast landed in Java. In 78 AD, the Indian prince Aji introduced the Sanskrit language in Indonesia, but the use of monsoon winds and regularization of sea routes contributed to the trade in high sea. Trade routes were established by maritime Kalinga traders to distant islands of Java, Bali, and Sumatra. The shadow puppeteers of Kalinga accompanied the merchants to entertain them. Ancient Kalinga now forms the state of Odisha in India. Puppets in Odisha are largely made of a single piece of deer skin, sambar, or goat skins. Deer skin is used for divine, holy, and peaceful characters, but goat skin is used for feminine characters. Split bamboo sticks are attached to the puppets for vertical handling. Known as Ravan Chaya, meaning shadow of Ravan, the opaque puppets cast black and white shadows. The soul of Odisha shadow theatre is music. The style of singing is a blend of folk and classical Odissi tradition. All the stories are drawn from the epic of Ramayana. Ravan Chaya puppets are small in size, but the shadows are lyrical when manipulated in a jerky fashion. Although the themes are largely based on the Ram story, it is named after Ravan. The merchants of ancient Kalinga and the puppeteers gradually spread their art and culture abroad. Indian culture and customs were introduced in Indonesia, such as the system of governance, military organization, literature, architecture, music and dance, religious practices and rituals. Hindu literary works such as the Vedas and the Ramayana and Mahabharata epics were introduced through Wayang or shadow theatre. It is believed that the play ensures protection of family, crops and the cattle. A concept that is widely shared by the people of Karnataka in South India. Leather puppets in Karnataka underline the glorious heritage of the art form. Shadow plays in Karnataka are symbolic representation of divine powers. Therefore, plays are staged to ensure good rainfall, bountiful crops, and protection from disease. Togalu Gombeata, or puppets dance, are visible in many areas of Karnataka. The screen can accommodate several puppets for a scene, binding them laterally on a single plane. Togalu Gombeata draws its themes from the epics and Puranas. The shadow theatre continued to enthrall audiences in India and abroad. Early trade relations were established between South India and the kingdom of Srivijaya. In 689 AD, Srivijaya was the center of learning with scholars like Shakyakirti, Dharmapala and Vajbuddhi. Java was then called Java Dweep or the Rice Island. Srivijaya's kingdom had diplomatic relations with the South Indian kingdoms of India. The temple city of Madurai is an ancient city of South India with a few leather puppeteers. On the outskirts of Madurai lives Durai Raj Rao with his family of traditional puppeteers. The folk art form is identified as Tolpavai Kuthu and is a blend of Marathi and Tamil. Durai Raj, his wife, son and daughters performed together as a team. A shadow play performance in Tamil Nadu is presented in the form of a series of dialogues, interspersed with cries of anger or derision. A striking board is used for transition from one scene to another. Puppeteers of Tamil Nadu create a presentation style of their own after selecting a few episodes from the Ramayana. The story of Ram reached the countries of Southeast Asia as a result of a series of enterprises by seafaring adventurers, scholars, and monks. Gradually, Indian culture and religion spread throughout the archipelago. The Prambanan temple complex in central Java, which began in 856 AD, was completed after 14 years by King Daksh. It was dedicated to Lord Shiva. Traditionally, Tholu Bomalatha, or leather puppet shows, are organized during the festival of Mahashivratri in the state of Andhra Pradesh in India. Nimalgunta is the home of shadow puppeteers, where more than 50 families make a living from shadow puppet theatre. The leather for puppet making is treated with salt and alum diluted in water, then scraped to desired thinness, cleaned in water, and spread on a cot under the open sky for drying. Master puppeteers draw various segments of a puppet on the leather. When the black outline is dry, the exquisite, intricate patterns are detailed by versatile craftsmen. After the parts are cut out, they are colored with vegetable dyes and chemical colors. Once the eyes are painted, the puppet is infused with life. Different parts of the puppet are assembled together. The brightly colored puppets of Andhra Pradesh are the largest shadow puppets of Southeast Asia, varying from 4 to 6 feet in height. Since puppet figures are large, the screen size is 8 to 10 feet in height and 12 feet in length. Fascinating fight sequences and the complex choreography are timeless highlights of this ancient theatre form. Dramatizing of certain scenes are done with particular songs or daru in varying style. The plots from the Ramayana are composed of rhythmic couplets, somewhat similar as in Indonesian plays. The profound impact of Indian thought and ideas has manifested in the shadow plays. However, over the centuries, the Javanese have reinterpreted, modified, and embellished the theatre form in their own distinctive style. Each puppet represents a distinct character expressed by the shape of the face, the eyes, nose, mouth, head, body, legs, and height of the puppets. The screen is the sky of the world, the lamp is the sun, and puppets, the animate and inanimate things of existence. The puppeteer, or dalang, is the invisible god and the master manipulator of puppets. A great deal of skill and hours of practice is involved in creating tension and excitement in the fight sequences. Java's neighboring island is Bali. 93% of the people in Bali are Hindus. Besides Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, a number of gods belong to the Balinese pantheon of gods. Balinese religion is ritualistic. Every house in Bali has a temple of its own, and a ritual worship is an important daily activity. The most common occasion for a religious festival is Odalan, the anniversary of a temple which takes place every 210 days of the Hindu Balinese Wuku calendar. During the festivals, the gamelan orchestra performs, but deep religious significance is attached to shadow theatre. Kakayonan's preliminary dancing signifies the Panch Mahabhuta, the 5 great elements. In the standard night performance, 60 to 70 puppets may appear on stage. The majority are male aristocrats. The plays underline man's complex relationship with fellow human beings. Plots from the epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata are staged during the performances. Kakayonan, the cosmic tree of life's presence, marks the end of a play or scene. As in Bali, leather puppetry in the Palghat district of Kerala is part of the ritualistic worship of goddess Bhadrakali. It is believed that the goddess shall watch the performance in a specially built playhouse called Kuthu Mandapam. The plays are usually performed during the annual festival in the months of March and April. Devotees of the goddess invite the puppeteers to a feast during the 21 festive days and offer clothes and gifts. As the daylight begins to fade, the puppeteers and the devotees wind their way into the Bhadrakali temple complex. A series of oil-fed lamps are lit up in the multiple of 7 on an improvised stand horizontally parallel to the screen. The puppeteers stand behind the row of lamps and insert the puppets between the lamps and the screen. Tolpawa Kuthu, meaning leather puppet play, is performed on twin screens of 12 feet by 4.5 feet. Kerala puppets are similar to the opaque puppets of Java and Bali. But the innumerable tiny perforations on the puppets create a magical aura of light and shade during the performance. According to a popular legend, the goddess Bhadrakali could not watch the Ram-Ravan battle as she was at war with the demon Dwarika. Therefore, she commanded a devotee to stage a shadow play of Ramayana. The Ramayana has also provided the stories for the Malay shadow theatre too. From ancient times, the influence of Hinduism and Buddhism in Malaysia is evident in the temples, caves, and Indian cultural traditions in the peninsula. But the visible early Indian influence is seen in the Wayang Kulit show. The Malay shadow play is staged in a separate temporary structure constructed of shaped timber or bamboo with a raised platform. The performance is usually scheduled at 8:30 after the night prayer. The play is preceded by a stirring overture known as Bertabo, summoning all within a mile radius to assemble for the show. The overture consists of several musical arrangements, with one called Sri Ram Walks, followed by Ravan Walks and Pa Dogol's tune. The average height of Malay puppets is 28 inches, and they're often gay and brightly toned. Sri Ram is painted in green, while his brother Lakshman is painted red. The costumes are elaborately decorated, but the characters wear a khmer or Thai crown. Even in the new millennium, Sri Ram's story continues to captivate audiences across the countries of Southeast Asia. But one ponders to consider the mighty challenges confronting the puppeteers. Their dedicated survival in this materialistic age can be attributed to the enduring magic of Southeast Asian puppeteers who renew themselves to stand tall each night.